Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Greenfield with Truth in Hand, and Venus sextile Mercury brought us back together again, right?
It's true, Lisa. Hi, everyone. I'm Astro Daddy. And Lisa, I am so excited that we finally have the right aspect to kick off our tapings once again.
Yay, 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 yay.
On a full moon in Sagittarius, no less. As you know, I'm a Sagittarian moon, so it's very special for me that we're even doing this on this special moon.
I love it. Love it. And I can't wait. You were teasing me a little bit with all of I already know some of the aspects, but it's like you were listing out all of them. And we have so much packed in. This full moon reminds me of sometimes the lunar event, new moon or full moon, is like a stage, and maybe there's two actors on it, or maybe there's three actors on it. This full moon feels like there's a host of actors on stage. So it's like, wow, we have so many, aspects, so many planets on stage to give us some support, some encouragement, and some caution, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you take the lead, Mr. Lavada, and let us know?
Well, Lisa, our full moon in Sagittarius happens very early in the morning on Wednesday, June 11th, here in Pacific time, at 2:43 in the morning. So Tuesday night, and we're taping on a Tuesday, we will see the moon in its fullest tonight. So make sure you are outside looking at the full moon tonight because it's going to be big. And in Sagittarius, it's a full moon. So that means go back to November on the new moon when we had the new moon in Sagittarius and see what you planted then. That's finally coming into culmination now.
That is, I have to tell you, there's a couple of things that I set in motion in November, and I'm just going, whoa, fascinating to see, all around healthy boundaries. Because, Sagittarius, it's like, ooh, so expansive, ruled by Jupiter. And
Right?
we've got this exalted Jupiter in Cancer, now that Jupiter's gone into Cancer, that rules this Sagittarius moon. So it's one of these where it really is emphasizing a new understanding. Sagittarius takes all the ideas from Gemini and puts them together into overarching theories and philosophies and operating systems. So it's like, wow, it's very interesting to see where healthy boundaries have
Hmm.
extended and supported my new operating system. Yeah. So hit us, darling. What are we going to look for?
Yeah, so I wrote some things down and I want to share it with everyone, Lise. So our full moon in Sag is a day of truths revealed and courage restored. The full moon invites us to see the bigger picture, then take brave, meaningful steps toward it. Very Sagittarian. Emotional insight, motivation, and maturity all get a turn. Just know that the evening may feel heavier and more surreal. So take the breakthroughs that happen in the morning and afternoon and let them gently settle in.
You know what I love about that? Of course, I always love what you offer up. That's why we work together. But it's such a point counterpoint to what I was looking at because my eye was drawn to the shadow. And you're going to touch on some of the transits this weekend. But we've got this full moon, the Sagittarius moon and the Gemini sun are sitting in human design gates where the shadows are ego and pride. And it's the place where, in order to feel safe, we've settled for positioning ourselves, whether it's positioning one up, being right in a relationship or in a conversation or in a situation, or our position of perceived authority, whatever that is, it's the place where we're settling for ego and pride of position or place rather than letting things that we are proud of emanate, come forth naturally out of being authentically us in relationship with other people, not unbridled self expression, which is a trauma response. I've had people go, well, I was just being me. And I'm going, being you verbally vomited all over somebody who was not prepared and not in any space to hold what you just spewed all over them. So that may be authentically you, but it's authentically you at the expense of the relationship. there is a way to get back to what we authentically desired before it got contorted into meeting social expectations so we could belong,
Yeah.
and that shadow is sitting really cozy with ego and pride. And so just notice where you might get stirred up, and it's a false sense of security rather than developing a new sense of trust in yourself to express what you want and need, because it really comes down to, what do you feel, what do you need? What do you feel, what does that feeling need? And expressing that to somebody in a way that they have a better chance of hearing it.
Hmm.
This is, when you really understand that's an umbrella to stand under, it doesn't matter how much the rain comes down, you're pretty good. You're sheltered under that. So it's like, oh, so really watch, particularly on the day of, for that the shadow of ego and pride that costs you. It's a thief. It will steal your happiness that's available in those awkward, uncomfortable moments where you may not be right, but the two of you, or the three of you, or the four of you, the relationships can get it right together. Yeah. And that's the best, healthiest Jupiter in Cancer, nurturing yourself, nurturing others. Beautiful. And that's that core, firm foundation. Cancer goes back to the original family. You're rewriting the story.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
And we're feeling that energy, even though that really that energy of the full moon peaks tomorrow at 2 a.m. We're already feeling it here on the 10th of June. Even yesterday, we started feeling as it builds. But what's interesting, Lise, as this energy builds and really culminates tomorrow, the 11th of June, we're having some potent aspects that are starting to build for this weekend that we're already starting to feel. So this full moon energy is going to continue already into the weekend.
Oh, yes, because this full moon is trine Mars, which is sitting at that 26 degrees of Leo, which is 2 degrees off of the King star. Okay. So it's like, ooh, when I was talking about pride and ego, it's like, wow, why don't you walk us into this weekend? Because that definitely is a player this weekend.
Okay, you bet, because it all starts this Friday, the 13th. And if that's not an ominous sign about what's to come. Uh,
Well, hang on. Friday the 13th, 1 and 3 together can put things on a firm foundation, or it can all box you in. So
well, let's
imprison.
go with the former. Let's go
Okay.
with the former
Yeah.
because it's going to be a potent weekend, like I said, but it kicks off on Friday, the 13th, with the sun squaring the north and south node.
Mm.
So that's our vitality in tension with our destiny.
Yeah. And what I love about that is our north node is expanding, our south node is declining. Okay. So it's the upward spiral, the downward spiral, or the forward spiral, the backward spiral, whichever way you want to decide you'd see it.
Right?
And then you've got that square, and you said it's the sun, right?
That's right.
So that's our whole self is being asked to make deliberate choices.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, no, you can't just keep doing what you've been doing and get where you want to go.
Right. Lisa, if I can just add, the north node right now is in Pisces and the south node is in Virgo. So find where Pisces and Virgo is on your natal chart, and you'll see where that square is being affected.
Oh, my Pluto's being activated. So it's like, woof, I'm so not getting off lightly right now. But yeah, that's Friday the 13th. What have we got Saturday and Sunday? Because
That's
you
Friday the 13th.
Mhm.
So Saturday's kind of a benign day, so give us a chance to catch our breath from Friday. But I will tell you, the energy will be building all day on Saturday, at least, because the main fireworks for this weekend are happening on Sunday, the 15th. And it begins at 2:46 in the morning when Uranus squares Mars. And that is potent. That
Yeah.
is energy meets lightning strikes, unforeseen lightning strikes, that is.
Hmm. Well, and Mars is again conjunct that Rigel King star. Really watch for those places of entitlement. Those are the false sense of security but it's, you owe it to me or, whatever it is. It's that place where rather than authentic connection and authentic power coming through you, you're relying on something external that gives you that sense of security. And with Uranus there, it's gonna shatter that sense of security. It
Mm.
is. And by the way, this is also one of the signatures for earthquakes.
Oh, yeah.
Mars, hard Mars Uranus and
Yep.
Uranus and Taurus.
Yep.
We just had a little one here, and as
Yep.
we were prepping for this, it's like,
Yep.
ooh, Manhattan Beach, shaking and
Yep.
baking.
Volcanoes too.
Yeah.
Volcanoes in Mount Etna just erupted earlier this week too. So,
So yeah,
um, but
watch
it
for
doesn't end there though. That's just the beginning
it.
because
It never ends. It's
you know it
almost
just keeps
right
going
here.
on and
Yeah.
on.
But in this
Uh,
moon cycle, what's next?
yeah, sure. At 7:30 in the morning, so we'll already have this energy with Mars and Uranus square, but then Jupiter squares Saturn. So
Yeah.
that is the immediate energy that we here on the West Coast will feel at 7:30 in the morning, and that is expansion versus limitation.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a challenge with the Mars square Uranus. And I wrote up an overall energy for the day. If I can just
Yes,
share it.
please.
This day is a cosmic pressure cooker, a rare and potent combination of an instability, urgency, and reckoning. Mars Uranus says break free or blow up, while Jupiter Saturn says grow up and face it. The result, a call to pivot, disrupt a status quo, and choose a new direction with discipline.
Mm.
So, this is going to be the rubber meets the road kind of a weekend, right?
Well, what I love about what you just laid out for people, particularly that grow up and face it, there can be with Jupiter in Cancer and in such strong position, it can be a loving facing it. That it's like, yeah, here's my ego at play. Okay, here's my pride at play. Rather than, dropping into that place where it's unnerving, it's uncomfortable. In some cases, it's flat out terrifying to be vulnerable
Mm,
about what you want.
mm,
But that this
mm,
Venus,
mm,
Venus having squared Pluto, it's like it's going, no, you are the desires that are yours are part of what make you the unique contribution that you are. And
mhm.
so you have to express them, and you can't keep expressing them the way that they've been expressed.
Yeah.
Right? That north-south node square with the sun. Then we've got the Mars Uranus, then we've got Jupiter with Saturn. And it's like,
Saturn.
yeah, it's gas and brakes. You also can't rush it. It's too easy when you get up the courage. Because what I love about Mars in Leo at that degree gives real courage to it's like, ooh, to face your shadow, to face the obstacles in the world, to understand that overcoming obstacles can be the making of you, and it shows you what really matters to you. Because when you love something enough to overcome obstacles to achieve it, then you bond with it. Whereas if it's just a desire, you can't get it, you go on to the next desire. That's
Yeah.
an impulse. As opposed to the deep longing in you that that you rise to meet the challenges so that you can receive, the benefits of pursuing what you love.
Mm, mm.
And it's
Right.
not going to be easy. It's not going to be comfortable. And it's going to be expand, contract, kind of like breathing or kind of like peristalsis, moving through your digestive tract. It's like, so it's like,
What a
yeah,
spin. What a spin on that. I love it though. It's great. I'm glad you brought up the Jupiter in Cancer element to it, making it a little bit more smoother going into it with an amiableness, you know what I mean?
yeah, there's a grace available within you. So if you don't meet it in the world, it's kind of like, I love this, Mr. Rogers, he said, when terrible things happen in the world, look for the helpers. There's always helpers. And I forget who said, and if you don't see one, be one.
Mm.
Be a helper for you. If there isn't that immediate, you've got more support and resources right now within you. So if you don't find the resources outside of you, you may find that you are astonished at how well you can sit and look at your own darkness. And by the way, huge fan of tapping. I've seen the brain scans, emotional freedom technique. I love the app, the tapping solution by the Ortners, but because they've got so many free, good free content, but it literally, the brain scans before and after, it calms down your amygdala, the fight, flight, or freeze. All right. So it's like when you're going through this, soothe yourself, find out what is good for you, not just fast food or, a Netflix, mindless Netflix queue, but really find what's good for you and take care of yourself while you look at some of these really big things and don't force it. Breath in, breath out, and let it evolve. Yeah, it's big.
Welcome to summer, Lisa. We have the summer solstice coming up on the 20th of June. That's when the sun enters Cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the lightest day of the year
Longer in the northern hemisphere.
in the
Yep.
northern hemisphere. True that.
Yeah, exactly. The longest day of the year. And not only that, but the sun adds its energy with sun entering Cancer, adds its energy to that Jupiter in Cancer.
Hmm.
So it means that you're going to get added support and really caring for yourself the way you wanted to be cared for in the past, and weren't. So it's like, okay, you do it for you. You make it possible. What you checking on your little?
I'm sorry, I was just checking. When does the sun conjunct Jupiter in Cancer?
Uh-huh.
And it's only a few days later, Lisa. Later, the sun really amplifies Jupiter's presence in Cancer.
So exactly. So this is not an easy moon cycle, but I pulled the cards, Mike, because that's what I'll do for mind, body, heart, spirit. And what's so interesting about this with, such an interesting array of aspects on stage, what we've got is really keep in mind, let me explain something first. I'm going to do a quick preamble to the cards. We've got our intuition, our heart, our mind, and our body, and they're meant to work in that order. Our intuition senses something that's beyond our lived experience. It's, one of the reasons why Christopher Columbus went left instead of going right. He was convinced he could get a shortcut to the East Indies because they thought the world was that small. So it's like, there's not a whole lot of data. There weren't a whole, there wasn't proof that it would work. He went on intuition and then he was passionate about it. So first is intuition, sensing something more than what you know. Then you have to feel passionate about it. He fought for it. He lobbied the queen for 2 years and then had to wait another 2 years before she fully funded the ships. So it's like, okay, you want it, you overcome obstacles, you patiently invest in it. So it's like it's spirit first, heart second, you're bonded to it. Third and only then do the mind figures out the how. Okay. And then finally, our body acts on it. So we all come standard with that. And the cards are showing us, again, where do we put our emphasis? Spirit, heart, mind, or body? Well, in the mind position, we've got spirit, Ace of Wands. Let the spark of a new idea, come in and go ding, 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 ding. This is my desire. This is my desire. Okay. This is what I want now. Doesn't matter what I've wanted in the past. This is what I want now. Okay. Doesn't, there's not a whole lot around this. All right. And that this is a Kundalini rising too. So it's like, it's passionate. It's like spirit is really tapped into the collective. And then that's in the mind position to really let spire to let sparks of fire. Spire is sparks of fire. To let spire really, take you to new heights. And then in the body position, we've got another wand. It's the Three of Wands, which is all about communication. All right, threes are always ruled by Mercury, and it's all about, you start to talk to people, and it's the place where you can start to see where it's going to come together. And what's amazing, and that's in the body position, in the heart position, we have what? Another fire. Four of Wands. All right. Fours are always putting things on a firm foundation. And by the way, correspond with Cancer, which is where this elevated Jupiter in Cancer is. So it's like when you're grounded in what you believe, okay, because intuition is belief, that it's like, I believe, and other people have that same sense that there's something over here. This makes for good relationships, inspired good relationships. And then, so here's all the gas that we've got, gas, gas, gas. And now in spirit, we've got brakes. So it's like mind, body, heart are all infused with spirit. We move into spirit, and spirit goes, hold on. Two of Swords. It's almost like that, Saturn in Aries squaring Jupiter in Cancer is going, yes, and there's going to be a little bit of push-pull between the old and the new. So spiritually, that's going to help you transformational tension. That push-pull is what builds muscle, like going to the gym. So you're going to have to try on these different ideas, test them, see how well they work. Be willing to make adjustments. Two of Swords says, be willing to make adjustments. Fact check. All right. And interestingly enough, it's almost a straight. Ace 3 4 2, but it's Ace 2 3 4, all made up. It's like we've got all the elements we need. We just have to work within those, expand, contract. Expand is so blessed right now and so supercharged right now, and there's so much harmony in it. And then that contraction is going to come in. Don't fear the contraction. Don't fear seeing what doesn't work out. The downside, it's like, oh, that's just a place to go and address how do you bring about a better result rather than getting discouraged, because that Jupiter square Saturn can be discouraged. Whereas Jupiter and Neptune goes, oh, big ideas, big ideas, big ideas. And Jupiter and Saturn goes, wait a minute, how are you going to do it? So be willing to take time to invest. You don't force an outcome here. You let yourself be expanded with all of the possibilities and then fact check which ones fit. Or to use it to mix metaphors, go shoe shopping, try those new feelings and wants and desires and expressions of them. Try them on, take a lap in them, see if they still look good and feel good, right? And there we have our Sagittarius moon. Well, thanks for joining us. We certainly had fun, you guys. Thank you, Michael, for your research and your focus to bring us the
Of course, Lisa. It's my
part.
pleasure, I'm so excited that we're sharing the new and full moons to our audience again. It's good to be back.
Yes, it is good to be back. So thank you, thank you. I'm Lisa Greenfield with Truth in Hand signing off.
And I'm Mike, your Astro Daddy. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.